So why do we meditate? Why do we come to sit and or take time for ourselves, go for a walk, garden? Why do we do these things that we know are supposed to make us feel better, supposed to decrease our stress, our anxiety, our depression, help us sleep better? Why do we do them? Well, because of those things. Because we have a desire to maybe step into some change. Maybe. But what do we do? How do we do it? How do we meditate? Simple. Right? It's so simple. We find some time, we find some space, and we dedicate that as a gift to ourselves. Right? And so all we're doing is breathing. Just noticing the breath as we inhale and fill up the belly and the chest, and as we exhale. Right? That's it. Simple. But what happens when the thoughts, the patterns of thoughts, the story we tell ourselves keep coming? Well, in meditation, what happens is we start to observe those things. And the beautiful thing is we observe it and then we acknowledge that it's there. And in acknowledging that it's there, we simply release it. We say, I don't need you right now. And we exhale. And then we come back to the breath. The same thing. We just inhale, follow the breath along. But those thoughts, those feelings, emotions, sensations, those are all going to continue to come. They never stop. What develops is our ability to observe them and realize that they're there, that I don't need them for this moment while I'm in this practice, and then I release them. So a simple way to do this, a simple practice, is to just simply go outside. Go to the beach, go for a walk, sit outside in your backyard, and observe. Listen to the waves, watch the waves, listen to the birds. That's it, super simple, right? But then as we're watching, as we're listening, get lost in that moment of the waves, of the birds, of walking in nature. Undisturbed, no phone, right? No music. Just paying attention to that. Now here's the key. When we get distracted from that, we observe that we're distracted from that. We acknowledge that we're distracted from that. Maybe it's a story that comes into our head, maybe it's a memory, and we go down that little rabbit hole. That's fine. Catch yourself. And then say, I don't need that right now. And then release it with an exhale, coming right back to observing the waves, watching the waves, listening to the birds. Continue being open-minded and free of thought on your walk. And that's it. That's meditation over and over and over again. We get distracted by everything constantly. And sometimes we choose to be distracted because we don't want to focus on what happens. But what happens when we meditate? Maybe we want to release stress, anxiety, we've got some depression, we're not sleeping well, all of those things, right? All of those things are real. And what happens when we start dedicating time to ourselves as the gift to ourselves? When we dedicate time to ourselves, we give to ourselves, and then we create space. And in creating that space, we're creating time for us to acknowledge that we need this, to acknowledge when these things are happening, and then we start to see the patterns that we've had in our life. These patterns that keep coming up. Why am I so reactionary? Why am I so angry? Why? And we can let it go and just be like, I'm here now, I'm present in this. And then we see what happens, right? So give this a shot. Go for a walk, go sit at the beach, go garden, go sit in your backyard. Undistracted, no phone, no music. And if you're with somebody, do this together, quietly, and just be present in that moment and see what comes up and see how it plays out for you.